Hey everybody, welcome to another Talking Vandals segment with myself, Noah Schmick, and the voice of the Idaho Vandals, Dennis Patchin. And we are doing this after a 28-14 loss to UC Davis inside the Kibbie Dome for the Vandals. Dennis, let's maybe just start with some of the takeaways you saw. I know this time around it seemed like the Vandals couldn't stop the rush game from UC Davis, and they were able to at least get some turnovers in the pass game, but the defense didn't look like they could stop UC Davis.
Yeah, we talked to Thomas Ford, the head coach, afterwards on the post-game show, and he actually thought his defense played pretty well. They got put in some situations that kind of short fields and penalties. The defense committed a couple of key penalties, one that kept the drive alive on the first touchdown, one that kept the drive alive on the third touchdown of the game. It wasn't much consistency in that game. They did force some turnovers, but unfortunately Idaho's offense couldn't get any points off of those turnovers. And it was a situation where, the offense played well in a couple of times, but not consistent. The defense played well in a couple of times, not consistently enough, and that's what happens. And that's kind of been the microcosm of this entire season. One team will play great for a whole game and the other side of the football won't, or they'll both play great for a half, but in the wrong halves, and it just doesn't add up to a team that's going to win 8 games to get into the postseason.
Well, now the Vandals, they sit 4-6, and they're looking to try and get 2 wins here at the rest of the season. I guess let's just talk about, I know the Big Sky standings, if you really look at it, the Vandals towards the bottom there with that 2-4 in the conference record, but you still have a chance to win out and have a 6-6 season. But I guess you've been around long enough to where the coaches, like, what's the next thing when a game like this happens and now your season is, oh gosh, we aren't going to make it to the playoffs now. What is the next thing that they're looking forward to? Is it playing for the seniors?
I think so. I think you look at all the sports in college. And football is the shortest season of all of them. There's only you're only guaranteed 12 games. Before it was you only guaranteed 11 at the FCS level. Now you can play 12, and that's going to be permanent from here on out. But you only get 12 opportunities to play. And you think about all the time that they practice. When January starts, since the semester starts, they're out at 6 o'clock in the morning running. Then spring football starts, you get 15 practices. Then you have the summer where you're spending more time, and you're lifting and doing those things. And the captain's practices, and you're working out as a team, and you're using that bonding. And then you've got 20 practices before you ever play a game at the beginning of the year. And then it goes by so fast. It's gone in 13 weeks, and then it starts all over again. So yeah, I think they're first of all, they're playing to go 6-6. 6-6 sounds way better than 5-7, in my opinion. They would, if they can come up with a win over Sac State on Saturday on the road, and then beat Idaho State the last game, then you beat 2 ranked teams this season. Then you beat your rival in Idaho State. So you feel a little good about yourself. The other thing to remember, and this is a big picture from the 30,000 feet view, is Thomas Ford took that job over late. He took that job over after the quarterfinals of the big, we were in December before he got that job. The recruiting class was already signed. More than half of those recruits went to New Mexico with Jason X, so really didn't have a whole lot. And then some of the transfers, the 4-year transfers, just didn't pan out like they had hoped, and there was a boatload of injuries. So I know it's not what Vandal fans want to hear. Their team had been to the postseason 3 straight years. They wanted to go back again. It's not what they want to hear. But there are a lot of reasons why this team hasn't been able to be successful. And now you try and fix that. But you've still got 2 games. You play for the seniors. And you know what? And here's the thing is, the average fan doesn't care about that. They care about winning games to get into the playoffs, or winning games to get to a bowl game in college football, or get to the national championship. They don't care about playing for the seniors. But if you talk to teams, if you played football, I played football, as an underclassman what it means for those guys, A, to go out how they want to go out, but certainly to win that last game. So, there's that to be played for. And you know what? It's 2 more games of development for the younger guys. Figure out, is this a place for me to play? If not, I need to go somewhere else. Or the coaching staff, is this a guy we can depend on? Let's give him some playing time.
And there's a whole lot of young talent on this Vandals team. I mean, the other thing is the two guys that got interception, Hayden Johns as well as Caleb Ricks. Caleb Ricks is a freshman.
True freshman.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be great. I mean, there is still a lot of pieces. And you have to remind me, is Art Williams, is he a sophomore?
He's a redshirt sophomore.
Yeah, so I mean, there are a lot of pieces on this team that if they come back, it's a good team.
Ryan Giziaro, who's been their most consistent receiver when he's been healthy, is a redshirt freshman. You look at Nolan McWilliams as a true freshman. Davion Super-Alice is a true freshman. Mark-Ron McCraney is a redshirt sophomore. I mean, there's all kinds of guys. Now, here's the wild card in all of this. Normally, in the old days, all those guys are coming back. One more year with the program. It's going to be great. They're going to be better. But we don't know. I mean, Caleb Ricks is a 6'1" corner who got his first interception. He's been their best cornerback almost all season long. Does he get an offer from somebody someplace? So we don't know. I mean, you can only count on what you have now and hope that some of the younger players say, yeah, staying here one more year would be more beneficial because, then maybe I can make even the next step. But who knows how that is? So you can only play for the 2 games you have here and see what happens.
And it seems like this is a team with a pretty good culture. I mean, and just like you said, one that was formed pretty late into getting things started with head coach Thomas Ford Jr. I guess one thing you got Sac State, you got Idaho State. I feel like those are 2 still winnable games. UC Davis is a very good team.
Right.
But, I mean, it'll be a challenge, of course, going on the road to Sac State. But, I mean, those are games that you could battle and pull off 2 wins.
Yeah, I mean, I think, coaches aren't even looking at the Idaho State game, but we can. They will be favored to win that game. But Idaho State has played, some better football. They beat UC Davis 2 weeks ago. They almost beat UNLV. I mean, they've been, speaking of inconsistent, that's a team that has been really inconsistent. The Vandals really want to beat Sacramento State, like everybody else in the conference wants to beat Sacramento State, because they basically said, we're too good to be in the Big Sky Conference. We're out of here. And their president of the university called FCS football JV football. Okay, there's not a lot of love lost from everybody in the conference with Sacramento State. So they want to go win that game, and then certainly the last home game, it's senior day, you want to win those games. So there's, I know that from the fan, they're saying what's there to play for, but once you peel back all the layers, there's a lot to play for.
Well, 4-6 right now, of course, just like you said, the fans won't love it, but it's a team that can get to 6-6, can still climb their way up. I mean, I was looking at those Big Sky standings. There's 4 teams under Idaho that are 1-5 that have it way worse, and then you could still get up till, I think, 4th. If you win both games, you need some help from other teams as well, I'm pretty sure.
But again, if your team has been to the playoffs 3 years in a row, 4th doesn't matter. 4-4 doesn't matter. It's about getting into the postseason. And unfortunately, that went away on Saturday when UC Davis came in and beat them. So we'll see. It's we do know the season will end in 2 weeks. We do know the Vandals still have a chance to be 6-6, and they still have one more home game. So it's a chance for people to see their team at home one more time.
Well, their next game against Sac State on the road. We'll have to see how that one goes. And then, hey, we'll have a lot to talk about with the seniors that are leaving maybe next week. We can talk about guys like, oh my gosh, Nate has a party that's been there for forever. You can
forever.
Talk about like Zach Krotzer, right? All these guys.
Zach Krotzer, Sam Brown, Nate has a party, Jake Cox. I mean, all of those guys were before Jason Eck got there. So, I mean, they're through their 3rd coaching staff. They've been a lot, and they'd certainly like to go out with one more victory.
Yeah, so we'll have a lot more to talk about in next week's episode. But thanks so much for watching. As always, Dennis, always appreciate your insight, and we will see you guys next week.